What's up, guys? I know it's pretty late, but we're here nonetheless. Gosh, it's here on a Friday night. Lots of news to talk about. That's the main reason we're here. Uh, what's going on, guys? Lots to talk about. First, let's start with the latest news of the night. Antonio Brown will not be suspended at all. Um, it's tough because I'm not sure everything's working fine, so I actually will start in a minute. Start in a split second, make sure everything's going. Oh gosh, we're live. Most of you people will probably see this in the morning, being that it's 2 a.m., but that's fine. Um, but let me just preview real quick what we're going to talk about today. Since I wanted to make sure everything's working with everything here lately. Seems like everything's good to go though right now. Um, Need to talk about Antonio Brown. What's going on there? Apparently, he's no longer going to be suspended. The Raiders were ultimately gonna suspend him. Now they're not. We got that. We need to talk about Tuesday nights. Every Tuesday night from now on. Well, throughout the football season. I have a new show coming out. Hold on a second. I have a new show coming out. Um, I want to talk to you about that, and then football this weekend. We got football all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Um, Lots of exciting stuff to talk about. So, but let's go ahead and get started on Antonio Brown tonight. Let me restart you at the very beginning, in case anybody does not know. I would be surprised if any of you did not know, but about 2 weeks ago, I have to even think about it. There's been so much stuff going on. I'll say about at the start of Hard Knocks, there was a situation with his helmet. He was tempted to. There was talks of him retiring football. All kinds of things going on. He said he would not play without his old helmet. Well, that turned out to be just the very beginning. For those of you that do know about the rest of this, I was going to talk about the other stuff, but let's skip right on to the last thing tonight, or the other day, with Mike Mayock. So, Wednesday, Mike Mayock and Antonio Brown met with Mike Mayock, and apparently there was this altercation that included not a fist fight. I know it's not a fist fight. Excuse me, just a altercation that included Antonio Brown cussing Mike Mayock, which to me, I don't give a shit. I mean, using a cuss word here and there, I don't see the big thing with that. Yeah, is it inappropriate? Yeah, I won't get you get that right. Is it suspendable? No, to me it's not. But a lot of these people on Twitter are saying they should just be suspended. But it's not just for that reason. He also apparently called Mike Mayock a cracker, and we're not talking about the food cracker. We're talking about we are talking about the other type of cracker. Um, that's a little overboard. For Antonio Brown to be calling him that. Mike Mayock that, but I don't know. I feel like a half a game suspension to a game suspension makes sure he realizes that that's unacceptable in the Raiders organization. Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. Um, so that they got through that. Antonio Brown, and all this happened over an Instagram post that was posted to Antonio Brown's account showing that the letter that Mike Mayock sent, or that was made for Mike Mayock and he signed. And it was more what it was, just telling him the reason of his fines and how much the fines were. Mike Mayock didn't like that, so he came to Antonio Brown about it. And then the altercation that we just talked about reportedly happened. Antonio Brown declines it. I disagree. I bet I'm willing to put a lot of money on it that something like what was said to happen by Adam Schefter and a few ESPN reporters, I'm willing to bet that it happened. Maybe not to the extent that it was reported, because you can't trust all the reports. Who knows where Schefter got that report from? He probably likely got it from one of his ESPN reporters, and therefore he kept on moving along. Let me continue this thought in a minute. Let's see. Okay. But anyway, back to that Adam Schefter thing. I'm sure Adam Schefter got it from some ESPN reporter and reported it. That was definitely a possibility. But either way, I trust the report to a certain extent. In that case, yes, Antonio Brown needed to be suspended, bare minimum a quarter. There's also been reports that they should suspend him the whole game, so he's not necessarily they can basically void out his $29 million if they need to in the future. That's tough. Ultimately, I don't disagree. Antonio Brown put himself in that position to possibly have this go on and then to be suspended and to possibly lose his money. But I don't think. I'm sorry, calling the GM, even calling a GM a cracker and using profanity, cussing through a GM, that does not deserve losing possibly $29 million. I don't believe the fighting report. A lot of people have been talking about the Antonio Brown fighting with Mike Mayock, or potentially it basically saying that it got to the step before a fight. I don't believe that. I don't believe, and if it was that was on Antonio Brown's side, because Mike Mayock ain't the guy he's not going to start an altercation. He's the GM of a football team. He's just not that type of guy. So I don't believe it got to that extent. And that's where I say I don't believe the report's fully but I believe them most of the way. So we move on from that. Today, this morning, this has been like a 2-3 events a day situation. Today was two. John Gruden Antonio Brown reportedly came out and emotionally apologized to the team. That's hearsay. That should have found somewhere to hold my phone. That's hearsay. I'm sure he apologized. He probably realized, oh shit, I'm about to lose $29 million if I don't change my act. That's probably what happened. And then he changed his act, and then he went and apologized to the team. And things you would think would he'd stay quiet for the weekend, go into Monday, play his game, insure his $29 million. That's what you would think. But no. Nope, that is not what happens. John Gruden comes out later, about 4 Eastern today, announces that Antonio Brown is planned to play Monday night versus the Broncos. I'm not shocked. I don't know why everybody else is. Everybody's like, oh, he should have been suspended. I'm not shocked. Guys, do y'all not realize Antonio Brown's the top 3 receiver in the league? He's making the money if he plays. If he's not playing, they're not making as much money. There's not going to be as many tickets. Not many people showing up. So on and so forth. The team has a better chance to win with him. Everybody knows that. The team has a better chance of winning with him. And third, John Gruden is going to do anything at all costs to win this game, which is kind of in relation to number 2, but John Gruden likes this guy. And some people are saying, oh, that's fake. I don't believe it's fake. I don't believe it at all. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't believe it's fake at all. To me, and this isn't it. But let's move on. And then tonight, after all that happens, after the Gruden incident was set, where Gruden said Antonio Brown will play Monday night at Denver. Well, Friday night, what's Antonio Brown do? Post a YouTube video. Having a problem with a YouTube video of whatever sort. Except for this YouTube video had a special conversation between John Gruden and Antonio Brown on the phone. Well, what's this conversation say? Basically, it's like a 2-minute conversation. It's nothing too long. Gruden calls Brown, basically trying to figure out what's going on, trying to have a discussion about it, hopefully settle some things. Antonio Brown says it's all about the news. He's a villain. Blah 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 blah. Gruden basically talks it up, says you're not a villain. You're just the hardest person to understand. Ask him if he still wants to be a Raider. And Brown says he wants to be a Raider, but he's not sure that they want him to be a Raider. That or asked them if they want him to be a Raider, that he works the hardest out of any other player on the team. Um, um, and then Gruden tells him just stop the bullshit and play football. And he's like, and Brown says he's not he's a person, basically. And I understand that, but what the fuck is it with all the bullshit? The helmet thing. I understand you're trying to protect yourself. I think that was all more drama induced than anything. That's fine. But we accepted it. Well, I guess I have accepted it. I didn't fully accept it, I have to admit. We got through that. He skipped practice after the helmets, right after the helmet saga. They fined him a very penny, basically, to his salary. He posts the letter that Mike Mayock sent him, or the letter that was sent by the team that Mike Mayock signed, with this little bitty fine, and posted on Instagram and basically says the team's a hater. The team's all of a sudden a fucking hater. Like, what the fuck? I don't get that. I'm sorry, but anybody else that doesn't show up to their fucking job, or anybody else that doesn't show up to a football team, anybody would get fined like Antonio Brown did. Can't relate to, I guess, a regular job, but you get in trouble. You have some kind of consequence, whether it be it's probably not a little fine, but you get pointed or lose whatever, something, or you just don't behave your day, whatever the case may be. You have some kind of consequence, or every fucking body would call out. Every fucking body just wouldn't show up. So I don't get that. But the team's all of a sudden a hater. They're a fucking hater. I thought that was ridiculous from the get-go. I just didn't understand it. I'm just, like I said, I'm sorry. It's not acceptable to me. And then to go post it on Instagram because you think the team's a hater. That team's helped you so much and gave you so much more advantage than it would most people that it's just not even funny. But none the fucking less, the team's a hater. But we got through that. Mike Mayock clearly got through that because he didn't get suspended. You call out the team, you basically cursed the GM out. A little over exaggerated, but you cuss the GM. They get through that. Now, if anybody else would have got fired, if you're at a regular job, your any-day job, you ain't making damn near that much fucking money. You're making 1/10 of that money, and you're getting fired. If you're doing all that, most 70% of football players, if they did that, they would be cut, and they wouldn't get back on another team. The other 30, the superstars, the stars, the players that matter, the quarterbacks, might get a little bit of a pass. But the other 70%, they're getting cut. Well, we'll say 50%, because I think there's a good chance that there's 50% that wouldn't get cut. Hold on a second. Anyway, but we get through that. We get through all that. apparently no suspension's gonna happen up to them. And then tonight's new thing to get attention, I think, to the situation, which I personally don't have a problem with it, but in a way, I've seen reports out, people saying all kinds of stuff, whether it be it's just not the right thing to do, it's illegal, whatever. I don't care. Why the fuck is it illegal? Especially, you can't say, people cannot say that it is the wrong thing to do when they don't know what's going on. The fucking video was posted 20 minutes before people were making stupid reports. 20 minutes. How do you... And I understand the consent with Gruden, but how do you know within 20 minutes that AB might have had permission from Gruden? I don't fucking know. Do you have a source that's with AB and Gruden? Because not that many people do. I promise. I mean, and if you do, and you know this stuff, that Brown had permission from Gruden, then all fine to you. I apologize. But those people that don't, that I know probably don't, just, I don't know. It's just stupid to make comments when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But other than that, I think that's all for the Antonio Brown situation. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Probably nothing, because the reports are now saying, from actual real reports, they're saying Gruden was amused by it, and it wasn't proud, but he was impressed. Okay. He's impressed. I would not be impressed with that. And the only way I'd be impressed is if you take away that Antonio Brown's moving on and just going to play his game and it's going to be done. I would not be impressed with that. I would be impressed if that's what he means, if he's going to go play Monday night in the bullshit. Because Antonio Brown was pretty likable before the last few years. And now people just think he's ridiculous or hate him or whatever. I personally don't. I'm not going to say I hate him, but he is not my favorite player in the league. And I'm sure he's not but maybe the 1% of people. And he'll be John Gruden's favorite player if he plays well. If he don't, then he won't. It's that simple. It's that simple. We got that through. I want to talk about Bears and Packers. I like that. Yeah, Bears and Packers. I know y'all can't see that well, but that was the shittiest offensive performance / play calling, whatever you want to call it. For me, I put play calling and offensive performance by just the offensive players in the same thing. For me, it's the whole performance. It's a team effort. It'd be offense, defense, offensive performance, defensive performance. You put that on the coaches too. But the offensive performance by both teams, but particularly the Bears, was completely awful. I mean, that was awful. I don't know what. I'm just trying to where to start, really. But awful. Trubisky, I was. Here's the thing. I picked the Bears to get to the Super Bowl. I picked the Bears to get to the Super Bowl before the season, before yesterday. I was like, well, I probably won't change my mind before week 8. Well, I'm already second guessing right today, and it's only week 1. The Packers defense isn't that good. I'm sorry. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It may prove to be better, and then I start changing my mind. I know Mike Petty's a good coach. He's a good defensive coach, and I may change my mind in a couple of weeks and say, well, the Bears' performance wasn't as bad, but right this second, awful. Trubisky, why didn't they play the running back David Montgomery? Why did he only get 6 carries? Why did Cohen only get a couple of carries? You're gonna play this Mike Davis? Since when is he your main running back? Did he start being your main running back before the season? I mean, I'm not gonna say that Mike Davis is not a good running back. He may very well be their best running back. I don't think so. I'm sure 99% of people don't think so. And when I say best running back to them, but why? If he's not your best running back, why the fuck play him 75% of the game? That's asking for a loss. And then penalties. It was just awful. And I know the Bears don't win very much in week 1. They've lost like quite a few of their opening games. Last 2 years, this year and last year versus the Green Bay Packers, they've lost both. They haven't been dominated necessarily, but they've lost both games. Mainly because of bad performance, but yeah. Now the defenses played great. Now that could be how bad the offenses were, but the defenses, I won't take anything away from them for now. They played pretty darn good. Except, I'm still not sure about that Green Bay defense. The Bears defense I already knew was legit. You stop Aaron Rodgers 10 points. That is damn good. I don't care if he's got a brand new coach in there or not. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's still a top 15, top 10 quarterback. And most of you are saying, top 15, top 10? Are you crazy? I'm saying that some people would say he's fallen off out of the top 5, which is what I would say. He's between 5 and 10. You stop him to 5 to 10 points. I'm satisfied. Your defense is good. But yeah, defense was good in that game. Let's just say I was at a 7 of 10 on my pick for the Super Bowl to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I'm down to 5 out of 10, and that's pushing it. I'd probably say 3 or 4 out of 10. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that it is week 1. That's the only reason they're at a 5. Otherwise, it'd be 2 or 3, meaning I would probably change my pick within a week or 2. But that's where I'm at with that game. I don't know who they play right now in week 2, but either way, let's move on to. I want to talk about the new football show I've got coming out. And football this weekend. We got football all weekend long. Hopefully I'm able to watch a big majority of it. I'm hoping. But we'll see. I know tomorrow, so I'll be watching college football, Texas A&M and Clemson. I don't care what other game comes on. That one I'll be watching. Um, LSU, Texas. Let me check. I don't know what time LSU, Texas comes on. Let's just check real quick. I just want to see real quick and see if I'm going to be watching it for sure or not. Oh, yeah. Okay, so back-to-back ABC games. LSU, Texas. Definitely a must-watch for me. And Texas A&M and Clemson. I'll be watching them two very seriously, and then I'll check out the Georgia game. And I'm sure I'll watch one of the 12-3 games. And probably one of the 3-7 games or whatever the exact time they come on. But yeah, I'll be watching those, and hopefully Sunday. I'm really wanting to watch. I'll definitely, if I had much choice between college football and the NFL, I'm gonna watch the NFL games first. Falcons, Vikings, I'll definitely watch that. Yeah, there's a lot of, I can't think of the exact games on right now. Some games are going to be a blowout. Pittsburgh and New England play. That should be a great game. I would think it's a Sunday night game too, so that'll make it even more. I won't say it'll make it even more interesting because it really won't. Sunday night versus 4:30. It will probably watch it. And then I don't know about the afternoon games. I'm sure there's some on. Although I'm pissed that 46 is gone. CBS. Unless they signed a late contract, which I fucking doubt it. 46 CBS is where I watch a lot of my fucking football. I don't even know when they're gonna get that shit back. It's pissed me off because they've been gone for a fucking month. A fucking month. You pay fucking $80-$90 for between $80 and $70 and $90 for a service that you ain't even getting. Or that I ain't even getting because I'm not getting CBS. I'm not getting Fox Sports. You don't get Braves. You don't get Hawks. You don't get shit. Sports wise. And it pisses me off. Like, if you're going to do that, then give me a discount on my bill because they gave me no discount on the bill. Not a damn dime. I did get a little bit of a break, but it was because of their fuck up. On something else, a billing situation. So yeah. I mean, but anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about the fucking cable companies because I could talk about them for probably the cable company, phone companies for 2 hours. I guess they pissed me off, both of them. But anyway, let's move back on to the new football show of the games. Oh, well, let me quickly give my Super Bowl pick. I have the Bears and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I have Chiefs, Patriots in the AFC Championship. I have the Chiefs coming out. Something tells me I want the Chiefs to come out, so that's why I picked the Chiefs to come out. In the NFC, I have Bears and Eagles, which I'm not sure on either one of those. If Carson Wentz can stay healthy, all that, we might have a Eagles-Bears Super Bowl NFC. But right now I have the Bears coming out of the NFC, and I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. It was hard to pick it, and I'll tell you why. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to fall back a little bit. had 50 touchdowns. I figure it'll come down to like 40. Um, but the defense is better, and they have a better running back situation. I really like LaShawn McCoy coming from Buffalo over to Kansas City, and then they've had several other signings that are very good signings for the Chiefs. I like their speed. That's why I have them, and they have a pretty good offensive line, and Patrick Mahomes can move very well, and I like that team. And their defense is better than it was last year. I have no doubt about that, or it should be. You can always, it could always be wrong and it not be as good come actual game time. But it's pretty good talent wise. But that's who I've got in the Super Bowl and Chiefs winning it. Now let's move on. I've got a new football show coming out. Well, I say show. So the situation with it is, it's gonna be this type of show. Not, I'm doing this live from my phone because I'm lazy at times and I want to be lazy tonight. So I'm doing it from my phone in the bed, on the bed, laying down. So I'm feeling quite lazy tonight. But Tuesday nights, I'll be back at the computer and it'll be more official, more, I wouldn't say maybe not professional, but more, there'll be a lot more to have to stay in line with as far as talking points, because we have 16 games to quickly talk about, and we're not trying to keep it a 3-hour show, so we have to keep our lines. But you can expect that Tuesdays. I'm thinking 9 o'clock. I haven't announced an official time yet because I'm going to keep the same time every Tuesday. Because if I do that, then I'm going to be consistent more. I'm going to be more consistent with it. I'm going to know I got to do this at 9 o'clock. I said 9 o'clock. Now, certain circumstances where that changes, but barring as of right now, unless I let you know otherwise, the show will be Tuesdays at either. Now I'll make this official by Monday, 8, 9, or 10. I'm going to say 9 or 10. 9 or 10 Eastern, it'll be official. Some exceptions, well, I say 8, 9, or 10. I'm going to change that back to 8, 9, or 10. Exceptions are, I have a feeling, hold on. Some exceptions are, well, some things that I've got to figure out. Let me put it that way. It's not an exception. Some reasons why I'm not going to announce the exact time till Monday. I'll be on Tuesday's editions. Y'all know Eric and the End Zone podcast are doing Tuesdays and Wednesdays this year. I'll probably be on the Tuesday edition. I know this week, or I'm 99% sure this week. What time is it? 2:54. Fuck. I know this week, and I imagine quite a few more weeks. I'll be on there talking about basically the same things we're talking about here. So we may have to figure something out there. or I'll have to figure out there what I'm gonna do, and I may end up. I don't want to change nights. I want. I don't usually. I usually cater to everybody else. I don't want to cater to everybody else in this situation. I feel like Tuesday night's a good night to do it. For me, personally, for you guys, so y'all get your preview and review, in my opinion, or my opinion of the what's gonna happen and what happened. You got time to watch it if you can't, or listen to it. If you can't listen to it on Tuesday, then you have Wednesday, and then you have all day Thursday up till game time. And if it's just one game on Thursday, so you really have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days, except for the one game on Thursday night, whatever that game happened to be. Packers, Bears was this week, but you get the point. I wasn't gonna. I previewed that game on the Endzone podcast. If you want to go back and listen to it, you can. But we previewed that, so I wasn't really worried about the thing that this week, and I'm not worried about previews this week because all you're doing previewing this week basically is previewing the season for me. What's gonna happen this season, and if you want to listen to me preview the season for each game, or not preview the season, but preview the game, some thoughts, not necessarily a full blown 5-hour preview, but if you want to listen to some questions that I have, some things that I'm gonna watch for in week one, you need to go listen to the Endzone podcast. We did it on Tuesday. It was posted Tuesday night. I don't think Eric's posted any podcasts since then, so it should be the latest podcast. We talked about that. You can listen to Eric's thoughts as well, and tweet at us, of course, if you do listen. We'll make sure I'll make sure to respond to you. I responded almost everybody. There's some comments, some goofy comments crazy comments that I don't respond to, but for the most part I do. Yeah. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. That's 5 days for you to listen to the preview, except for twice a year. If your team's playing early and you want to hear what I have to say about it, you can listen. You'll have to listen to it on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday morning. So you still have 2 days, 2.5 days, basically. Even if you wake up late, 5 days for the people that have teams playing on Sunday and they don't care about Thursday night football. That's a lot. I want to keep it that way. That's one reason. 2 reasons is Tuesdays are one of my least busiest days of the week. Most weeks. Well, actually, they are my least busiest days. One of my least busiest days. I have either nothing going on or next to nothing going on Tuesday, so it just works. It works out perfectly if I can keep this on Tuesdays. There's no sports on really until basketball comes back, and if I miss an hour's basketball, if I'm watching a game, then it is what it is. I'll either record it or just won't watch it. Football comes first for me, and if I commit to doing a preview show on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, then it's not that big of a deal. I'll do my show, leave it, and watch basketball game. And if it's a super good basketball game, try to, I may go through the show in less time than we normally do. Let's put it that way. Because I'm going to try to keep these shows, it's tough, under an hour. But I don't have there'll be times where I don't have a set limit at all. We may go eventually 2 hours, for all I know. But that won't be often. That would be, 8 to 10? Yeah, or 9 to 11, or 10 to 12. Yeah. Maybe that was a little too far, but we might go an hour and a half. Yeah. But we have that. You guys will be able to interact. I'll have it more official. I didn't expect anybody to really be commenting this late, so I'm not really paying attention to it. Well, I was writing about it, made a comment, so I don't have to worry about that. But we'll be having you in the chat. I'll be on here. I'll be on YouTube. Football with Chris is the initial name. That'll change over time, I'm sure, but I just came up with a name. What I could come up with, and it's the truth. It's going to be purely football, probably purely NFL. Now that's not to say if we have a super great game on Saturday night football, like Texas and A&M and Clemson, we may quickly talk about that. I doubt it. I think it's better for me to say we're going to keep this purely NFL. But yeah. Gosh, no. Purely NFL. Tuesdays, 8, 9, or 10 Eastern. I'm not sure. We'll talk. I have to, and it may week 1 be a little different. I think after week 2, I'm gonna have a good idea of exactly what time it is gonna be every week. So it may change for week 2. But after that, I expect no changes. Yeah. I don't think anything else I need to say. But I'll be interacting with you guys throughout the episode of the show. Week 1 premieres Tuesday. YouTube here, Periscope. I expect I'll answer 99% of comments, unless you make a super, super dumb comment that's just utterly ridiculous or inappropriate, and you'll just be banned or time out or whatever you're doing here. I don't know. But I don't expect that to happen much. I expect debate. Next. There'll be people on. I'm sure we'll have guests from time to time. It'll be primarily me, I'm sure. But we'll have guests here and there, and be able to chat with you guys. And I may, we'll do things. I'll have some. We'll come up with stuff to. I don't know yet. I haven't thought that one out yet as much. But I will over the weekend, now that I think about them. We'll have things going on. I'm sure from time to time we'll have little prizes or whatever for little certain things. That I haven't thought out that well either, but just random things. I don't know. I can't promise anything yet till it gets here. I may randomly, I may, I may randomly say it in the middle of a show, for all I know. So don't expect to be pre-warned. You'll have to watch the show to know what's going on, basically, or listen to it on the pod. That's another thing. I know a lot of you cannot and don't have the time or patience or whatever to just watch me on screen for an hour or an hour and a half. That's fine, because I will be having this on podcast platforms. Like, you're on Google Play, you'll be able to listen to it on Google Play, Google Play Music, Apple. It might be week 4 before everything's settled. Hopefully not, but it might be week 4. I'm gonna try to have it set up soon, but we'll see. That's pretty much all I want to talk about tonight. It's 3:06. I'm about to get off of here. Get in about a half hour, so get 7-8 hours sleep. Hopefully, start the day tomorrow. Football's back. College football tomorrow, NFL Sunday. I'm excited about it. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much for supporting, listening. If you listen to the show, whatever the case may be, however you listen. If you got questions about anything, let me know. I'll address them. You may have something that may have an idea. I'm all for ideas. Don't be a smart ass about it, but bring me your idea if you have it. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for joining me. Peace out.